So in 2024, we've had a massive explosion of AI writing tools to create blogs and content, right? And this is basically split into two different categories of writers. So you've got the SEO category writers, and then you've also got the standard journalists who write stories or blogs around things that they're interested in, people read that, right? Now, the biggest explosion obviously is in SEO. So you've got companies such as Neuron, Journalist AI, many other writing tools, and what they focus on is given a set of keywords that you have, create an article around that keyword so that it ranks high in Google, right? Maybe, there's so many, Google is just spam now with AI content, and like the first few links that you click, a lot of the time it's actually just not useful content, but it does drive traffic to the site, right? And so these AI writing tools are pretty good at writing SEO optimized content so you rank on Google. But if you're a writer and your goal is not to increase the SEO of your site, but actually you want quality, you need to actually look for a different writing tool. And there are a few out there. Now, one of the biggest issues probably most writers have is, unlike SEO, where you go to somewhere like Ahrefs, you find keywords, you find sort of low contested keywords, and then you write an article to basically rank for those keywords. That is a very sort of unique style of writing, and it's only got really one purpose. However, what I find is that most writers, and especially when I was writing my crypto blog back in the day, you're actually writing on certain topics because you want to write about those topics and you want to tell readers about those topics. First, you got to figure out what you want to write about, right? What's in the news, what's trending, or what are you interested in? And then you've got to do research on that, right? So you've got to find other articles that people have written, you've got to scrape other sites, and then you also need to take all that research data, put it in, and then synthesize an article from it, right? So then you write your article after your research. Now, what I found, and what probably a lot of you guys find when you write your articles, is this part takes sometimes even 50% of the time, right? Finding the right research, finding the right things to say, actually learning about that topic, and then another 50% about writing your article. Now, what if we can use AI to do pretty much this, right? 75% of the work is done by AI. It figures out what you're going to write about, does the research for you, and then writes part of your article, i.e. it writes the draft of your article so that then you can spend the 100% of the time that you have on writing that article and making it as good as possible, making sure that it doesn't get pulled up as AI content and that it's actually useful to the readers, right? What if we could do this? Now, in the past, you can check out some of my other videos on how to fully automate content. I built something very similar to this, a bit of a prototype, right? What it did is you gave it a topic and you could put in some keywords if you wanted to SEO optimize it, and then you would hit generate article. So this is in Airtable. I built this with Airtable and Make.com. And then this would actually go and it would call a research agent. So this is an AI agent that goes to a bunch of different sites based on this. It does a bunch of different Google searches, scrapes all the data, and then condenses it down into a sort of a big block of content. You can then take that and then put it into some sort of prompt, right, to create an article. So this is what I actually created in the past and what I actually did for quite a while in generating blogs. And this is sort of part of the bigger solution that I'm going to show you later. So what it would do, you give it a topic, you can give it some keywords as well if you want to SEO optimize it, and then you would click generate blog. So this is built in Airtable and Make.com, and what it would do is then call a research agent that I've hosted as an API, so it's a bunch of code, and that would go out and do a bunch of Google searches, go to a bunch of sites, scrape them, condense it all down into a big sort of research block, which we then pass in to an article generation pipeline, all in Make.com. And then you end up getting articles out like this, right? So we would generate the title. This is the blog research, right? So you can have a look at this blog research, big chunk of research that it does, and then it creates your content here. And then you can take this content, and it's all sort of referenced, and then you can start to edit this and make it even better. So that sort of saves a bunch of the research time and the writing time. What I realized is, what if I don't really know what to write about? And I want to have more of a dedicated or news sort of direction, right? So say I am looking at news about Kentucky politics, right? I've got to go out and do a lot of research, like what's going on there, what are other people writing about, right? So what I then built was a scraper that you could set on Google Keywords and other websites to actually scrape in all their articles and what other people are writing out into a sort of AI newsroom. So let me just show you that real quick. So this is daily news. So what you can do is you can actually put in a bunch of websites, put in Google Keywords, and then it will come out and will actually just scrape all those sites, and it pulls in sort of the date that those were published, so that if I don't know what to write about, I can come here, I can see what other people are writing about, and then what I can do is I can use their article as the basis to rewrite the article. Additional sort of, then add the research agent on, and then that will create an even better sort of well-defined article, right? So what we do, so let me explain this a little bit clearer. So we scrape websites and Google for articles. We find our article. We then run the research agent on like a few, maybe the title of an article that I like, to do even more research. So we're not just using one article, we're going to do the research agent, so it will pull in articles from a bunch of other articles. And then we can pass in the article, we can pass in the research agent into our article pipeline, which will then output our sort of really well researched draft article. And what we can do, we can actually take it even a step further than this, right, to make it even better. So we get one article and then we run the research agent. But what if, it's a news piece and we're talking about Kentucky politics? Maybe 3 or 4 websites have already written about that. So with the Google, and with the scraper, we'll probably have a few articles that are also the same. Well, why don't we also pass in those articles? So that way, when we generate our article, not only have we got research agent which has done additional research on the web, we're taking the sort of all those, like say 3, 4 articles, and all the information that's in all of those, because there might be some information that's in one and not in the other, generating an article on that. So our article should be the definitive article on that topic, because it's got all of the facts and all of the knowledge. And if we automate this, you can get to this draft article within 30 seconds. So I'm going to now show you what I've also been building. I built this basically in Airtable and Make, but what I wanted to do is share it all with you guys, so you don't have to go around building an Airtable, because that takes 20, 30 hours to build and put all together, is SwiftWriter, right? So I took all of that and I've put it into Platform. So we can turn any news into an article within 30 seconds. So let's just have a look at what we have here. So this is our daily news. We can put in websites that we want to scrape in here, and then we can put in our Google keywords. So there's 2 sort of areas. So websites, it will scrape all the new articles from that website, and then Google keywords, it will scrape articles on Google that have that keyword in. So let's do this. Kentucky politics, let's add that. Let's do 8 articles to scrape, and then let's just scrape now. You can set it on a daily timer. So this is if you just want to get the new stuff in every day, it will go and run that every day, and you just set it before you sort of wake up in the morning, and then it scrapes everything. So here we go. Right, so we start to have some come in. Now let's take a look at these. We got the publish date, so we can see it's all fairly recent. So we've got all these different articles, and then what you can come down is have a look at these titles, and then you can see what other people are writing about, and it will give you an idea on maybe what you want to write about. So then what I did, I found this sort of Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump. This article looked pretty good. So what I then did, I just went and put McConnell Ukraine and scoped a bunch more articles in so we can get additional context. Let's generate from this one, and we can add this one into the context as well. So let's hit generate. We can select the kind of point of view that you want. So let's do third person. We're going to write a sort of a bit of a news piece here. Let's use a news author. What we also have, different languages. So if you want to select a different language to write in, you can. And then we have context management. So this is where we add in the additional information, right? So we can paste information here if we want. So let's do research. Let's switch the research agent on, and let's do generate our generated article as well. Let's grab this article as well. You don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you how you can add additional context in. And then let's go to next. We can also generate an AI image. Let's see what it comes up with. Let's do comic style, and then we generate the article. Right, so now the article is generating. And here we go. Colonel backs Ukraine aid against GOP majority. So this is our AI title. This is our AI content that we've done. We've only done 500. You don't have to use these pictures, but they can be quite funny. And then we can start editing in here. So yeah, let's grab his lovely face. Let's put it in here. And there we go. And then what we also have, we have the SEO. So we have the SEO here, the title gets generated, the slug gets generated, the SEO meta description, image, so all the stuff that you would need, short summaries if you want to post it on Twitter. Just put that in there. And then what you can do is download it. So once you're happy with the article, we can download it in Docs, Markdown, HTML, any way that you need to put it into your site. And there we go. We've basically got a fully well researched articles with quotes, all the additional context that we need. Sure, this is quite a short article, but you can also create it longer. You can create 1,000 and 1,500 word articles. And then what you can also do is you can come here to authors, right? So say you write with a type of style, whether it's like first person personable, or you write with a sort of a news voice, you can come in here and you can create an author, right? So you can give it a bunch of examples of your writing, and then this will just go around and train a model to write exactly like you do. And then we've also got the other sort of features, right, that I just showed you from the Airtable at the start. So this is research. So you can just add a topic and some keywords, and then it will just go and do the article for you. But I would recommend starting with daily news. Start with an article that someone else has written, and then just add extra context to it to create a really well-written, researched article. So that's how you use AI to write well-researched, written articles in 2024. I'll see you next time.